right, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Table Talk. We're now on episode 4, brought to you by ICA. Today's special is titled Financial Detour, where we have 3 special guests who will talk about all that there is to know about finance and all the struggles, and also just sharing about what their experience has been throughout this whole pandemic. So I just want to welcome everybody into Table Talk. Selamat datang semuanya ya. We're going to begin tonight. So thank you so much for joining. If you are tuning in later on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to everybody. Semua teman yang mungkin tidak bergabung dengan kita semua sebelumnya. So I just want to begin by welcoming everybody here. Thank you for coming in on time. It is very limited. There's an issue with Zoom. You know, it's all limited and like there's not enough room for everybody. But we're so glad that you're here, and I'm very excited to introduce to you our guest. But before that, I want to begin by saying there's a little framework here. So what we're going to do is talk about finances. So we're simply going to look at us as, well, them, not me. There's a reason why I'm not the one leading this talk. It's these guys. Business owners, as business owners juga, we're going to look at their perspective in this whole pandemic that's been going on, di seluruh Indonesia dan seluruh dunia. The struggle in finance within company and family, because we all know that's pengaruh finansial di marketplace ya. Akan berpengaruh rumah tangga kita. So we're going to touch a little bit on that as well. How do we prepare for this new normal? Ya kan, ini adalah kutipan seluruh dunia sekarang, new normal. Apa artinya secara finansial buat kita semua? And some tips and tricks for business owners and practical financial takeaways. So we're just so glad you're here to joining us this evening, and I can't wait to introduce you our speakers. Our first guest is Lenny Gunawan, SEM. It says bus here, but I think it means Magister Master of Business. CMA, Certified International Business Scholar, Certified Financial Planner. Woo! That's not a little. There she is. Attended ICA back in 2005, but active since 2015. Lenny is part of the hospitality serve team in ICA West. With a background in accounting, she equipped herself with more knowledge in management and finance. She's a lecturer at Ciputra University since 2007 until today. She's also a business consultant, a businesswoman herself. During this tough situation, she has been sharing her knowledge through many platforms, including Instagram. Sering ke Instagram live juga ya. But a little more about that later. But a quick question for you, Lenny. If you could choose any other profession, selain what you're doing now, what would it be?
I think I would like to be a chef.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, I find my passion in cooking and baking actually.
Perfect. Okay, nice. All right. That's our first guest, ladies and gentlemen. Our second guest tonight is Wandi Kurniawan. Joined ICA in 2010. He's one of the ICA deacons and served in the hospitality team, ICA West. There he is. Studying IT in Australia, experiencing working there, to decided to go back to Indonesia to help with the family business. He's running his own construction business as director of PT Selaras Karunia Sejahtera. Since the company works with BUMN during this pandemic, there's no money coming in. Except through the government, so the project must keep going from there. Let us hear more details about that. Wandi, if you're not doing what you're doing now, what would you be doing, man?
I think I like to be pilot. I always like plane, aviation, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's it. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. And last but certainly not least is Jessica Sugihan. There she is. Her journey with Jesus led her to join ICA in 2015, now serving the volunteer support team. She studied fashion business in London, continued with a master's degree in international business. She opened a bakery in London before coming back to Indonesia to help with the family business and hospitality. Ruko restaurant in Makassar. Sangat jauh ya, lumayan ya, Makassar. She is now the owner and business development manager, Harper Perintis by Aston Hotel. She handles all the finance matters, and COVID-19 strikes the hospitality area very hard, which she will talk about a little later. We are eager to listen to her story and managing all of that mess financially. So, Jessica, welcome to Table Talk. The same question to you. If you're not doing what you're doing, what would you be doing?
I've been keeping this a secret, but I would want to be a lawyer. And I'm planning when I'm older, I think I'm going to go back to law school.
No. Keren. Okay. All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Table Talk. If you just joined tonight, this is episode 4 of Table Talk, where we are talking about financial detours or what it means to handle our finances in this crazy COVID-19 season. So we're going to go through these questions together, and semoga our guest speakers can jawab, which I know they can and they will. So the first question is, from the financial point of view, ladies and gentlemen, when did you notice the crisis began? Did you do anything when you first had the instinct or the news? So I'm going to begin with Wandi first. Wandi, when did you notice that the crisis began in a financial point of view?
Oh, when it began? When it began, actually, when the pandemic already increased and start getting out from China. But way before that, I mean, early 2019, I have a feeling. Actually, now I believe that was from God, that 2020 will be a hard year. I have a feeling that there will be a recession, but I never thought that the recession will be caused by the pandemic.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting point that you have to bring out about God, which we will touch a little bit later. But let's head over to Jessica. Jess, at the time, what was going through your mind, and how did you begin to notice that a crisis began for you?
So, because I'm working directly with my dad, because I'm continuing the family business.
Yeah.
So both of us always discuss about work every single day. And we realized about this pandemic ever since it hit China in January. And we realized that it's getting bigger, and that if it goes out of China, then the crisis will hit. We predicted Asia, but not the whole world.
Okay. So it was definitely coming up, but you didn't know the impact that it will bring. But you know something's coming, right, at the time?
Yeah.
So would you say like kira-kira kapan? Like early 2019? Kayak Wandi juga?
No, mine is early 2020.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're a lot more closer than, yeah, the prediction.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, coming over to you, Lenny. What about you? When did you start to notice that the crisis is about to occur, according to your experience?
Well, actually, in 2019, around the second quarter, the economy has begun to shrink since the interest rate and then the demand and supply, like the demand of the, the usual daily life. People start to spend less, and then the interest rate from the bank is also getting smaller and smaller. I think the government is trying to make people to buy more, to invest more in the business because it has slowed down. But then with the pandemic, it starts to worsen. So actually the crisis has started in 2019, but then it hits severely with this pandemic.
Oh, okay. So you would say that the pandemic was actually the high point there, bukan the beginning point at all. It's been brewing for a while.
Yeah, so. For Indonesia, yeah, it is. If you notice, like the US dollar to Indonesian rupiah has been very high, and then like 14,000 something, and then of course when the pandemic occurs, it hits 15,000 and then even touches 16,000. But luckily now it has been stabilized around 14,000 rupiah.
Yeah, I saw it the other day. Okay. All right. Well, there you go, guys. Ini adalah pendapat teman-teman kita, guest-guest kita malam hari ini tentang kira-kira kapan krisis ini akan mulai. So I'm trying to remind everybody that it's okay to use bahasa juga, and I'm not saying I'm the best bahasa speaker juga, but I'm from Jakarta Selatan, so when you make fun of me of Jaksel, I'm actually from there. I'm actually Jaksel. Anyways, let's go to the second question. How does financial work affect your personal and family finances? And I think we all want to know from you guys' perspective bahwa the financial work that you guys do on a daily basis may or may not affect your family. So this is an interesting question that we all like to know. Can I go back to Wandi and kind of give us like a little glimpse about personal life and family life secara finansial buat dari Wandi? Boleh?
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Finance in a family life. Okay. Basically, in the family, we not really impacted.
Okay.
because our expenses actually is getting less. I mean, family expenses is less than usual.
Okay.
Like, and personal ones, because usually have to meet someone and, coffee meetings and fuel. Now we save a lot in like the eating out and the fuel.
Okay.
Um,
I see.
and yeah, I think in the family expenses, it's actually getting less. But from the business side of it, yes, it's we have a big hit. I mean,
Right.
in the revenue.
Right. So, and can I interpret it this way? So, even though revenue goes down, expense juga go down. Is that what really happened? So, even though the revenue comes in, not as
Yes, actually, I mean, what I mean is the company revenue is going down.
yeah.
And, like, because I take a salary from the company,
Right.
so I decided to take less. And
There you go.
actually, even I take less from the company, what we spend in the family is actually less than usual.
Okay. Okay. So, in a sense, you kind of, as a family, put it proportionally to the less expense juga kan. Jadi disesuaikan
Yes.
semua, right? Okay. Thank you, Wandi. I'm gonna head over to Jess now. What about for you? With your financial work, how is it affecting your personal and family life?
For me, maybe just the way of thinking of handling the finances in our business. But for personal matters, I don't think it really affects us. But because as Wandi said, our expenses got less as well. We don't go out anymore. We don't go on for holidays. We eat at home most of the day. So yeah, but not much really change
Okay.
for personal. But for business, it's a struggle.
Okay. So you wouldn't say that there's not much of a difference, except that you could happily not spend more than usual now that we're staying at home.
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, I sort of had butts with my dad because my dad was easily started to take out from our savings to save the company, but I was against that. I was against that, but now we're okay. Now we're okay. We don't do that anymore.
Okay. Okay. All right. Lenny, and let's see what she says about how financial affects her personal and family finances.
Actually, it's beginning. I mean, because I have always planned, but I become more cautious about expenses, of course, since the work from home has begun. Like, the internet, the Wi-Fi, and then the aircon has increases.
WFH.
But then, yeah. So I am still working at Ciputra University, right? So part of me, like, I'm a lecturer, and then I also have my own business. So because I also have my own business and I'm working part-time, I get to have more time to develop my business. So that's why during this pandemic era, actually, my income has increases.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We want to hear more about that later. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess it really all depends on like the adjustment, and I think some of our questions nanti mengarah ke sana sih, like bagaimana menyesuaikan ya dengan keadaan COVID ini. All right, I'm gonna go straight to the other question, and I think this is like we're entering a new normal, and we're gonna go to our guests now to answer this question. I'm going back to Wandi first. Wandi, is there any financial strategy from your perspective in this new normal, and what does it mean for us, for all of us who are trying to manage our finances? Khususnya, maybe you could list a priority, if you will, but just to kind of how do we move forward from here, entering a new normal? Apalagi PSBB is already lifted. I mean, what's your thoughts on that, Wandi?
All right. Is it the business side of it or the personal side of it?
It could be both.
All right. On the business wise, because we're having a problem in the cash flow, so we implement a tight money policy basically. So we review the budget. We put more authorization. I mean, the authorization limit for the managers is I lower them down.
Right.
And yes, and you know, like the health protocols already set by the government, we just follow them. You know,
Ikut aja.
the usual thing. You know, the temperature, wash the hand, the mask, and everything.
Yeah.
And yes, and for the personal life, family life, actually, what we do in the main thing is we try to mitigate the risk. You know, the risk that we cannot handle. So we mitigated this to the insurance, like the health insurance that make sure we are covered if, God forbid, if any one of us have to be hospitalized from anything or COVID, you know, because that will cost us a lot. So we make sure that we are covered for that. And the other plan is, because like what Jess said before, you know, like I think there's no holiday plan in the near future.
Yeah. Probably not. Okay. Was it difficult to find those insurance as a company and privately and personally? This is a question because I wonder if anyone asks it. By the way,
No.
if you do have questions, para penonton yang para hadirin, did I say hadiran? Para hadirin, this is why I don't speak Indonesian. Kalau ada punya pertanyaan, please taruh di chat. And we will address them at the end, the last 15 minutes. Yeah. So back to my question, Wandi. Like, was it difficult or easy or okay? Or no problem finding insurance for the company and personal?
No, actually, insurance is very easy now. You know, we're talking about the health insurance. You can cover by the BPJS too, actually, but it depends on how much level of coverage do you think is needed or comfortable for you. If it's not enough, you can always buy, you know, another insurance to top it up.
Oh, gitu. So you just like it's been provided and it's made easy by the insurance juga ya untuk adjust to the need. Okay. But my producer just texted me something that I cannot ignore. And he said I should probably ask you about the major hit on your business about the BUMN.
All right.
Would you share a little bit?
All right. So basically, you know, our company is in a construction business. We are specializing in earthworks construction.
Okay.
So usually we are subcontractor from the BUMN.
Okay.
So the project that we do now is, for example, we do like water dam, bendungan. So the government said they don't have money now to finance the project, which is already ongoing.
Right.
So they asked me to keep going of the project because they have to hit the deadlines.
Yeah.
But they say they cannot pay until certain time. So I'm having a big cash flow problem.
Oh, okay. Did that? Am I allowed to ask if it went through or?
Sorry again.
Am I allowed to ask? Did you guys continue? Atau what was the solution?
Yeah, I continue because there's an option. The option was like us to stop, not continue the project until the government have the money.
Yeah.
But when I stop, you know, my employees will have no work.
That's right.
And they might lose the job.
Betul.
So you know, I have to keep my employee. I have to make sure, you know, they are my responsibility. You know, their their well-being. So we decided that we continue doing the project, even though we're going to be paid later. So we have to manage the cash flow very good.
Okay, yeah. I remember when we had our briefing bersama, like kapan? Last Sunday, how you mentioned the word cash flow a lot, and it's a huge hit for big companies. Ya, kalau cash flow-nya nggak mengalir, like you're kind of paralyzed to operate. Yeah, which I would know, which is why I'm not a deacon. But anyways, thank you so much, Wandi, for answering that question. But I'm gonna go to let's go to Jessica. Jessica, how would you say in the new normal that we should strategize our finances and how it should be adjusted? Would you have like a priority list, or like what's on your mind when you think about this new normal and what to do financially?
For me, it's always important for you to diversify your investment, and that means putting your investment into different type of businesses. So,
Okay.
for example, in this pandemic, if I would say all businesses are suffering, but
Right.
the level of their suffering are different. So when you diversify your investment, you avoid a certain disaster
Okay.
in your main business or in your side businesses.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
that would be, yeah.
That's good. Well, what would you just a little dive a little bit? What kind of like industries, or where would one begin if one of us would begin to diversify? Where would you begin?
I take an example, my family business. So we do the hospitality first, which is the hotel, and
Yeah.
then we also do property, and then we also do restaurant. So
Yeah.
the fact that we have three different source of income just right there,
Mm.
it's yeah, I would say it's more of a blessing than a struggle to keep it
Okay.
running right now.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. All right. But would you say it's not too late if, let's say, our company masing-masing ini belum diversify? Would you say it's too late, or is there a way that we could?
It's never too late.
Never
It's
too
never
late?
too late to start your own business. Never.
Okay. I'm asking because I'm a host. Okay. But thank you, Jess. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna head over to Lenny. Yeah, dari segi keuangan lah. Prioritasnya bagaimana, Lenny? What would you think? What would you share to us tonight? Just from your experience on this new normal, and what does it mean for us?
Okay, I think if you have planned your finances, I think you're in the right track, because most people who are not actually planning or giving certain segments to their income, they will severely hit by this pandemic. For example, if you have 100% right from your income, and then you spend maybe 30 to 40% for your personal leisures, and then the rest of it, and then you just spend it on your daily expenses,
Yep.
and then schools or investments or insurance, it won't be enough, that 100% with
Yeah.
that kind of priority.
Okay.
So if I may suggest, you need to. I will come to it later. Like
Yeah.
first one, of course, we have to do typing, and
Mm.
then the second one is interesting, right? Yeah.
Well,
Um,
I mean, I can't complain as a pastor, but
yeah, because I mean, in my personal experience, I'm sure maybe some of you also have the same
Right.
what I have experienced.
right.
Even though at the beginning of the month when we receive the income, it seems like I don't think it's going to be enough if we give 10% for tithing, because from our logical point of view, we have to buy this, we have to pay this
Yeah.
and that. But then at the end of the day, like God always provides even more than what we imagined. So tithing comes first, yeah. And then the second one is very, very important. Like you need to put your money into the debt. I mean, if you are having like KPR or something like that, yeah.
Right.
The
Mortgage.
third one, yeah, mortgage. And then the third one is very important also, that you need to set aside for emergency funds.
Okay.
No, a lot of people put their money into one or two bank accounts, like the personal one, yeah.
Yeah.
But then they have active they have active. I mean, they can take money from it. And then the fourth one is the insurance. And then the fifth is actually the leisures. But because these priorities, people don't actually exercise it daily in their lives.
Yeah.
So when the pandemic hits, they don't have these emergency funds,
Right.
or they spend more or first for their leisures. Yeah.
Okay. So it's actually developing this habit of prioritizing our finances sebenarnya all the more important prior to COVID, but how much more important now to practice
It
the.
is, yeah,
Okay, okay, and
it is getting more critical.
okay. Can you repeat one more time that list of priorities again? One more time. Tithing.
Yeah. The first one is tithing, or yeah, whichever, maybe if there is non-believer here,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, maybe zakat or something like that. And then the second one, you need to pay your debt, your mortgage.
Okay. Like credit card itu termasuk ya? Credit card juga termasuk debt? No.
Credit card, it depends on what you buy. So actually, there's productive debt and also consumptive debt. Yeah, we can go later.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
and then the third one is the emergency fund. So emergency fund is really important.
Okay.
Basically, we need to save around 3 to 6 months, because usually when people are getting out of job or they have changes in their income basis, like nowadays, like people are getting, dirumahkan with certain status.
Okay.
They are not actually being fired, but they are not actually getting certain income like they used to be. So yeah, usually if people needs to find a new job, it will need 3 to 6 months until they get the income from the new job. Okay, and then the fourth one is the investment.
Investment.
Okay, investment, yes. And then the last one is the leisure.
Leisure. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, leisure. Yeah, your personal needs.
Oh, okay. Leisure termasuk personal needs, right? Like food, groceries.
Actually, yeah, but it depends though. I mean, how tight is your safety net? Safety net is, yeah, later we can talk about that.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm like eliciting a lot of things that I'm curious for. I don't know if like people in this table talk are curious. They probably already know, and they're like, "Ani Ardo kasihan nih, this pastor doesn't know anything." Okay.
No.
Let's just move on. But thank you so much. That was very good, and thank you, Denny, for summarizing the priorities over there. I'm gonna head over to the ladies back again. Sorry, Wandi, being the only gentleman. Looks like we're being gender equality is happening right now as we're speaking. Oh no, actually, no, it's Wandi and Jess. My bad. Actually, Lenny, we want you to be quiet a little bit. Just kidding. So for Wandi and Jess, how do you trust and delegate? So this is an issue of like maybe as an employer, okay? What steps do you do to entrust your employee with financial things, and while it's being confidential portion of the business? So it's this this tension between confidential portion with transparency and trust in order for the employee to work. And so maybe we could talk about that a little bit. And I'm going to begin with Wandi first. How do you what's the word? Just juggle this tension between trust and delegating in terms of finance?
All right, always me first, yeah.
Kan gentleman first, bro.
Maybe the ladies first change to gentleman first now.
Yeah, betul. New age, new day.
Yes, new normal.
New normal. That's
all right, delegation. Okay.
Yeah.
I believe we have to be able to delegate.
Okay.
In order for the business to scale up, to expand, we need to delegate.
Okay.
Yes, you're right. Delegation really connected with trust issue. All right. From the business point of view, in a finance thing of it, when people afraid to delegate, usually they afraid of they are losing money. The word, in Indonesian we use bocor. Ada kebocoran di sana sini.
Okay.
I believe running a company, kebocoran pasti ada.
Really?
If you delegate, yes. Kebocoran pasti ada.
So it's better to assume that you will bocor or gimana?
Well, you have to set the limit and a
Okay.
threshold when do you think is acceptable. You
Okay.
know, the level is acceptable or not.
Makes sense.
And because if you want your business to be like 100% no bocor, yes, it's
Yeah.
possible, but it will be harder for you to make it bigger. It's possible. I mean, like maybe in my thing in the project,
Yeah.
if I want it to be not bocor, I can only have one project, and I have to be in that project every single day.
Okay.
Then to make sure 100% there is no kebocoran.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's scalable. You know, we
That's
have to be able to scalable. So I always say to my employee, you can make mistakes. You know, you make mistakes. I can see the mistake can be forgivable, whatever. But always don't ever lie to us. You know, I always say to them, trust is number one.
Right.
Because if once you lie to us, and that make us cannot believe in you, we cannot trust you. Once we cannot trust you anymore, I don't think we can work together. So that means we cannot work together. So
Wow.
Fired.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Wandi. I'm gonna head over to Jess. We're gonna head over to Jess. What are your thoughts on that, on trust and delegation?
Well, whether I want it or not, I have to be trusting and delegating because I live in Surabaya and all the businesses are in Makassar. And I learned from my I learned from my dad mistake as well.
Okay.
Because before he was a one-man show, it's very old school. He wants to control everything. But as Wandi said, the business cannot grow bigger. It just cannot grow bigger because in every part of the business, my dad is needed, and he was struggling. So I also agree with Wandi said that kebocoran sudah pasti terjadi. It will happen. It will happen for sure. But for example, in our hotel, let's say we have 3 different suppliers for, let's say we want to buy a note. Let's say we want to buy a notebook. Okay. So I would ask for 3 different suppliers, and I would pick the cheapest one with the okay quality, with the good quality. Okay. But let's say if my employee makes a deal with them for his or her keuntungan, for their keuntungan, aku tutup mata sebelah. As long as it doesn't cost my company. As long as it doesn't cost my company.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So we have to set a limit.
Okay. That's good. I hope you guys got that. Yeah, that's a great point. Okay. I'm just going to kind of a quick recap of what I've been jotting down, at least what I've been reading from what you guys are saying as well. But for my notes, I'm just gonna quick recap on like Wandi. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you mentioned a few times, at least maybe not tonight too much, but in our preparation, you talked about expecting the best and preparing for the worst. I think it's a great philosophy to have. So maybe a little bit more about that a little later, Nanti Wandi. And I noticed that you said that they're not much like be affected personally in your life in terms of the financial cost for home. So I put my own notes here that simple living is never bad. Just living simply is never bad, especially in times like everybody's pockets are really tight right now. It's actually a blessing that you could just, rock in it. Okay. But Jess, thank you so much. I just want to put, I know you mentioned as well that even though bocor might happen, but you did mention, and I think when Wandi mentioned more on this live table talk about people are first, and I think, I don't know if we have time to talk about that, but you mentioned about how your company's the welfare of your employees itu sangat penting. And so I remember that was a note that I put down. So thank you as a recap, and also being creative. Well, you mentioned about nanti, right? And you mentioned a little bit about for like in 3-6 months, nanti the sisa 50% of the THR will be later as well. Okay, real quickly on Lenny, thank you for teaching us to be flexible, getting out of our comfort zone, but also just to get into this new normal. And list those priorities, and I think we're gonna address some of those questions. I believe there are some questions in the chat here about What if some of us do not have 3 and 4 for the priorities? So we'll talk more about that. But in this segment, we have about like 8 minutes left. Let's go to like just going personal let's go back to Wandi. So because gentleman first. Wandi, being a married man, how do you handle your money with your spouse?
All right. So basically, my wife is the chief of the household,
Okay.
and also the CFO, chief financial officer of the household. So I trust all the monies with my wife.
Yeah.
So the account is together. We don't have separate accounts. I mean, all the money is together. So, but she's the one who manage it. Because I focus on the business finance. It's already a lot for me to handle. So for the household is my wife.
Okay. It's interesting because for my own family, I'm the CFO, not because I'm a better CFO, but because for my family, because my wife is WNA, gajinya lebih baik kirim ke saya, and so not because I'm good at it, but because I have the money. And so, but anyways, but that's an interesting thing. And I think you also mentioned how there's actually no right or wrong in this situation. Tapi kebetulan di rumah, buat rumah tangga Wandi, emang it just works better that way. So that's something for all of us.
There's no right and wrong there.
Right.
It's whatever works with your family.
Right. Okay. So keep that in mind, para audience. Okay. I'm going to head over to Lenny. As a finance consultant, how to manage personal finance, just some quick tips that you could think of in terms of how to handle our finances personally.
Okay. I think if I can mention earlier, like those 5 segments that you need to divide your money into. A lot of people still like they don't put their emergency funds into separate account, which very important. Me personally, I put it into an account that I have limited access to it. So I intentionally, like when the bank gives me credit cards or other perks that I can access my money easily, I don't want to use it. So at the beginning of the, for example, if you get an income or you get a salary, and then I automatically transfer certain percentage from it for tithing, and then the second one is for the emergency fund. Yeah. So it's like what Jess said, I close my eyes as if I don't have that money. So yeah, it will grow over time. Yeah. But I don't forget.
Yeah.
I still remember.
I see.
Okay.
But I don't.
Yeah, of course. Still remember. So because the debt, the mortgage, it's usually being debited automatically, right, from your account. So, and then the fourth one, the investment, is also I try to discipline myself. But of course, if you are not into financing sector, I don't think it's a good thing in this pandemic era, since most of the stocks are going downwards, right? There's someone is asking also about mutual fund. It's actually okay, but if you don't actually know each of those products characters, it will be quite dangerous if you put your money
Padahal the price is low, so you should buy kan. I mean, my non-financial logic says beli dong, so akan lagi turun.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then we also need to look at the curve, because if it's going down, if it hasn't hit the bottom, it may go down further. Before it goes up. Yeah. So if your money is not, if your investment fund affects your operational, your day-to-day life expenses, it's going to be dangerous. Yeah.
Can I add something
Oh,
on the emergency fund and investment?
Yes, please.
Sure.
Just my opinion. I'm totally agree with what Lenny said. You know, we always need to have an emergency fund, and to have investment is also a good finance. For the to have the emergency fund in investment, it's also, in my opinion, is okay. But we always know that in the investment, there's a low risk investment, medium risk investment, and high risk investment. I think for your emergency fund, it have to be put in a low risk, or by maximum is the medium risk. It depends on you, or what you're comfortable with. But the nature of the emergency fund, the investment have to be able to be broken. I mean, we should be able to liquid the money
Liquidate.
in short notice.
Mm,
Yes, because if you put your investment, like my emergency fund is, I put it in the property, then when you have something emergency happen, you will have a hard time of selling that property very quickly.
right.
So that's my another thing on the investment. I always said, if something too good to be true, it is
It probably
too good
is.
to be true. Yes, because I heard so many stories about investment go wrong. You know, because people get lured by like very high return, very bunganya sangat tinggi, blah blah blah. Just use your feeling. If you think that's too good to be true, you better stay away from it.
Okay.
That's my opinion. I might be wrong.
Okay.
No, that's actually correct. Yeah. But then a lot of people also, they don't, like Wandi said, Wandi is experienced trader, I think, because he knows his profile risk, and he knows that there are several risks among those
Types of risks, yeah.
funds or stocks. But a lot of people, they just simply follow their friends because they think that their friends has profitable set of funds. Yeah, so it's very dangerous. If I may give you an analogy, like when you are having, PDKT, when you do PDKT to different girls or different boys, you cannot treat them the same way.
Okay.
Now, different stocks also have their own characters. When they go up, when they go down, there are certain pattern to it. So that's why it's very dangerous if we treat everything the same way.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I see. If you want to date, someone like varsity team, handsome, six-pack, beda ya pendekatannya. Like the nerdy boy yang ada di pojok ruangan gitu kan. Okay. Okay. We're entering questions and answers, and I think we're already interacting enough here. So let's just kind of look over the chat together, teman-teman. Lenny, Jess juga, Wandi. And kind of let's just kind of chime in together. What do you guys want to see? I like this question. Okay, just because Pastor John has a really long one and it's like pretty good one. If you have the capital, is this a buyer's market or a seller's market? Coba deh masing-masing. Menurut kalian masing-masing. Would you say it's a buyer's time or it's a selling time?
If I can add, of course, it can be buying time for certain product, but that it can also be seller time for certain product.
Okay.
So we cannot simply say that everything is
gitu,
the
ya.
buying time right now. Yeah,
So it goes
like
back
for
to the
example, if
industry.
you're,
Sorry.
of course, yeah, because different industry has different risk, and then different, like for example, for bank, there's a BCA, right? It has been declining, but it's very little, like only 2 or 3%, while the other banks, they have slowed down more than 10%. Some of them maybe 20%. So yeah, we cannot say that everyone is in the buying time or in the selling time.
Okay, so it goes back to the industry. Yeah, Jess, maybe I want to hear Jessica. Your thoughts as a business.
I really agree with what Jeleni said. It's just because you have to pay attention to the curve.
Okay.
when it's not, because it's going down and everyone is like, yeah, I have capital, I should probably invest in it. But as Jeleni said again, it's not going up yet. So you gotta be careful, and you also have to know whether you want fast money or you're willing to put your capital in for a long time. It's a different cost again.
Okay.
That's very true.
Okay. Okay. Maybe thoughts, Wandi, sedikit on just the buying, selling market a little bit, if any.
Oh, well, as what Jeleni said, it's not like a black and white area. It's not like a black and or white area.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
I cannot say this is like buyer or sell time.
Yeah,
It's depend on the products. That's what
Okay.
Lenny said. Yes.
All right. So pay attention, everybody, to the industry and whatever you're investing in. Okay, let's keep going. If there's any questions here, I'm waiting for some of my producers, but I think I'm scrolling the chat here. Ada yang tanya, Lenny, kalau mereka yang tidak punya emergency fund or investment, let's elaborate on that. And then kalau yang tidak punya, bagaimana tuh mulai? And I like one of the question here by Nola is how much should we allocate? Like maybe percentage wise. Yeah. So just talk a little bit more about that.
Okay. Ideally, of course, starting is 10%, and then your mortgage should not exceed 30%.
Should not exceed.
Should not exceed. That's the maximum amount.
Okay.
And then 10% is ideal for emergency fund. I mean, if you are continually setting aside 10% of your income, it should cover more than 6 month expense. Actually. Yeah. And then investment during this COVID area, probably maybe 10% is good enough. But usually in non-COVID era, 20% should be okay. And then the rest is like about 30% should cover the personal expenses and leisure.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone, Jessica or Wandi, maybe want to add a little bit, just in case. If not, gak apa-apa.
I'm learning.
Oh,
Yes.
I thought I'm the only one learning, man. You guys are like,
I'm learning.
I thought you guys are like, oh man, this is like, gue udah tahu. Thank you, Lenny, ingetin gue.
You're welcome.
And it doesn't-
No,
you guys are
actually-
like totally learning. Okay, so I'm not the only one.
Yes, it's good to have a lecturer here.
I know.
I may also add, I mean, the earlier question, Ardo mentioned that what if I don't have emergency fund or investment fund? When to begin or how? Simply by opening an account from the bank that has no ATM or near you, or
That's a good
debit
one.
card. Yeah, or debit
That's
card.
a good one.
But
It's like, gue mau tarik duit tapi jauh, males gitu ya. Okay.
yeah, and limit yourself. If they give you like click basic a token or something like that, just refuse it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, don't go into temptation.
Let you not fall into temptation. Deliver us from the next bank. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because in time of pandemic, I think number 5 will increase, right? And then number 3 also will increase. So you can less your number 4, your investment in times like this.
Kuranginnya investmentnya, yang kita kurangin untuk masuk leisure. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But then on the 5th one, it's actually 30%, right? You can increase it by having insurance, health insurance. If you haven't got one. Like what Wandi said, if you have BPJS, of course BPJS will cover you, but maybe it's not as fast, or I'm not sure about the facilities and stuff like that. If you think it's going to be enough, so during this COVID era, people will try to eat healthier, and probably it will cost you more, or you get like exercise.
Okay.
You try to exercise at home and then you buy several gadgets or something like that. It's
Like
also
kettlebells.
okay. Kettlebells.
I actually got a kettlebell, but that's another story for another time. Okay. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right, great. I have a bunch of questions here, guys. Let's see. How do you handle money when wife and husband sama-sama kerja? How do you handle money when wife and husband sama-sama kerja? Anybody want to start? Maybe go Wandi. Not because gentlemen first, but you already have a
Because
wife.
he's the one who's married.
Yeah. Hypothetically, because maybe you need to explain a little bit about your wife juga as CFO, house CFO. But like, for you, if let's say hypothetically your wife mulai kerja, would it change how you handle money together? I don't know if that's an easy question for you, bro.
All right. I start with I always said there is no right or wrong in this scenario.
Yes, we begin with that.
It whatever works for your family.
Right.
But I think when my wife work later, I think the way we manage our family money will be the same.
Okay.
Because
Sudah
we put everything into one.
Right. And it's already established. You're already used to it. Kenapa harus ubah, maybe, particularly for your family? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good one. I'm going to move on, guys, because we're running out of time. Is it okay to put our emergency fund money market, put our emergency fund in mutual fund? That's a very Lenny question, Kainani. Is it okay to put our emergency fund into mutual fund? Did you? No, belum ya.
In this COVID era, I mean, I don't think it's a good idea though.
Okay.
I mean, unless you're a very expert trader, like 80% to 90% the character of the product that you're invested in.
Okay.
Then it's okay. You can put it because it's the risk is kind of low, but still there's a standard deviation towards that. But then if you don't have emergency funds, it's going to hit you severely if something happens and you don't have that safety net.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Wandi mentioned juga Wandi, about how fast to liquidate is how you measure whether or not it's worth it or not juga. Okay. That's great. I think let's try one more, and then we're gonna have like kind of wrap up here for tonight. Thank you guys so much for your time. Maybe let's try this one. Is it wise to use credit card for cash flow? I like this one because I don't know the answer to this one. Please answer. Yeah, bisa gantian deh. Let's hear Jessica. Jessica ini diam-diam tuh aja nih. Ayo Jess, what do you think? In your opinion, is it wise to use credit card for cash flow?
No.
Okay.
Definitely not for me.
Short answer, no.
No.
Okay.
No, because I learned a lot. I learned a lot in this pandemic when our credit card spending has gone way less because we don't go out anymore. We don't really go out for groceries too. We buy it pretty much online, which you need cash, and it helps a lot with our expenses and how we manage the monthly money.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Kau Wandi gimana? I mean, it could be the same answer, obviously.
I think I agree with Jess. No, I think we should approach credit card as the credit card limit. For example, like I don't know, let's say 10 million. Don't assume that 10 million is your money. Always think that 10 million is the bank money.
Okay.
If you are using the credit card, you take a loan from your bank.
Right.
So put that mindset.
Okay.
So if you put the mindset of that 10 juta is our money, we tend to use it, to spend it.
Right.
But if our mindset is that money is the bank's money, actually when I use it, I take a loan, and by the end of the month, I have to pay them. Yes. But in the emergency.
Oh, there's a but here. Okay.
Yes. in the emergency fund, like you have something emergency happened,
Okay.
and you need to use the money. Maybe the credit card can be your last resort.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Lenny, please.
And if I may add, yeah, I totally agree with Jess and Wandi. It's the last resort. Like sometimes the bank give you like 0% installment. If it's really 0%, then it's okay. But you
Okay.
have to be very careful on reminding yourself when is the due date, and you should cover the administrative fee also, not just the tagihan, because they will give you fines if you miss maybe 1,000 or 500 rupiah, and then each month the interest is actually 2.5 to 3.5% per
Whoa.
month,
Okay.
and it is compound interest. So
Oh,
don't be shocked if yeah, if your debt is like innocently maybe like 1 million or 500,000 rupiah, but you pay the minimum amount only and you leave the
the rest.
remaining. Oh, it's okay. The bank is still giving me more credit. Within 1 or 2 years, it may become more than 10 million.
Yeah. Crazy.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Shout to the the person in the chat, like Carly, Dandy, Erwin, and Wandi Kurniawan. Yes, use the credit card, take the benefits of it. And actually,
Rewards.
like a W Kurniawan, I don't know whether W Kurniawan is my brother or not. I think he sounds
Okay.
like my brother. Yes. He said make use for the free interest day for your cash flow, but always pay on time.
Oh.
Yes, I totally agree with it. Maybe for the guys that don't understand, what he means is like, your credit card have a billing cycle. Every bank have a different billing cycle. For example, like your billing cycle on the 1st of every month, And if today is the 2nd and you use that credit card, you're actually using these 30 days for your cash flow. You're not taking your money, but you're taking the bank money. So you got like 29 days of, like you can use the money without any interest, just to make sure the next billing cycle you pay them in full.
Yeah, betul. So there are some strategy juga kan, Wan ya.
Yes.
Bisa aja sih. So it's a little bit of trick there, but nothing too crazy juga kan. It's just being smart aja kan. And speaking of smart, and I want to end with this. This is the last question before we go. And thank you guys so much. I know it's 8 o'clock. So some of you, if you need to go, nggak apa-apa. You can watch the rest on YouTube later. But we're going to have one more question, and it is for all three of you guys. And I just want to say thank you so much, guys, for your time. It's been such an amazing time to learn so much together. I mean, there's a reason why, I'm hosting is because I'm the most clueless here. And so I'm just appreciate you guys' time. But here's the last question, and I think you guys kind of like talked about it on the document that we shared together for this meeting. Is how do you relate your finances and your faith in Christianity? What would be those struggles that you could go, my faith as a Christian, tapi ada kenyataan finansial, and so just trying to give us a little picture, a glimpse of how you guys deal with that, and then I think we should end the night. Yeah, ini siapa dulu nih? Ini mau gentleman first or one of the ladies first? Okay.
Right.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
So how do you relate your finance to Christianity?
Yeah.
In the business world, because in the business world, in the finance area, it's easily for you to get tempted to do the not the right thing. So I always believe that if it worth doing, it worth doing right. So I believe that we have, because we believe and we trust in Jesus and we know the value of the Christianity, we have to keep our integrity. we have to have a good integrity and do the right thing.
That's good. That's good. Thank you. Okay, one of the ladies. Maybe Lenny dulu deh, and then we'll save the best for last, Jess.
So I'm not the best.
Dude,
kidding,
you're like,
just kidding.
you're a consultant. You don't need any affirmation. I'm just kidding. Okay.
You're in trouble, Arno.
I know.
I think in my personal life, Luke 16:10 is really resounding for
Right.
me.
Nice.
Like whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. That means when you have little and you're not obeying the God's words, God will not give you as much as you may or you can, because you're not capable to control yourself. But then I also have the time when I got windfall money, as Pastor John mentioned in his sermon. You know, when you have like 10 million or 15 million salary, it's not difficult to give, you know, 1 million or 1.5 million. But when you have 100 million or 1 trillion rupiah, 10% of it is a lot. But then God is actually willing to give you even more. But then, you know, yeah. So me, myself, I still have to discipline myself. But I learned that whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much. So it's a good reminder.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Lenny. See, this is not like, it's still the best. Okay, anyways. Gue masih bahas.
Jess, it's harder for you now to
I know. How do you top?
Lenny.
I'm just kidding, Jess. But like from your experience, Jess, like how do you juggle that? Your faith with like your finances that you deal with?
So I grew up in a non-believer's family. So from little until now, no one really teach me how to do tithing. So what I learned from my family is to be compassionate, to be blessed, but you become blessings for others. And I don't think you need to be Christian to be compassionate. And that's what I learned from my family. But from my faith, I believe the first is in Malachi 3. Yeah, Malachi 3 verse 10. It's about testing God. I'm going to read it. Bring the full tithe into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house, and thereby put me to the test.
Wow.
And when I read this, put me to the test, but I remember the other verse that says, do not test your Lord. But here, but this time, it says, put me to the test. Okay. So it's not like me having faith, like every day, every time I have my salary in my hand, it's not like my heart always say I'm just going to give 10%. Of course, I still have struggle inside my heart that it might not be enough. God, look at this. I need to pay this. I need to pay this. I need to pay this. It won't be enough. Right. But every time I tithe, it's more than enough. It's not just enough. It's more than enough, and it still amazes me every time.
Hallelujah. Awesome.
Amen.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. I'm just hoping that like there's a way for you guys to connect. So post-production, make sure you add their Instagram accounts so that everybody on YouTube can contact you guys. Is that okay, Wandi, Lenny?
Yeah.
Jessica, so that our viewers can contact you personally, if that's okay, at least through DM, maybe. Yeah. So don't scare them, please. Don't spam them juga. Even though we need to have a business community, you know.
Yeah.
Jangan gitu dong. So I just I want to end the night by just giving a final word. First of all, round of applause, please, for all of our guests. So I'm just gonna put a Zoom clap here. Thank you guys so much. It's just been so good. It's been so good. But what I want to say before we go, and this is kind of a testament about you guys, kalian bertiga. I'm so blessed. I talked this with Pastor Bebe and Dehon, like how I'm blessed with you guys, because I noticed as we were preparing this, there's so much peace from all three of you. It's crazy.
Oh.
I said, don't blush, Lena. The light is not enough to cover your blush. No, but really, like I'm so proud and I'm so blessed that like you guys get it. The situation you guys go through is not easy. It's not guaranteed, and there's no easy way out. Jadi kayak sebenarnya you guys might be as stuck as everybody that are watching this, but yet I sense there's a peace that you guys have, and by hearing your testimonies about how you guys put your relationship with God first, from the verses you share and just from your heart and your compassion, I saw that it was your relationship with God that was key. So I just want to point out that Jesus himself said that he gave us his peace. Jadi itu damai sejahteranya dari dia. Bukan dari dunia, bukan dari uang, bukan dari masa depan, bukan dari our next investment, tapi dari dia. And so I just want to say simply, no relationship, no peace. And I'm sure you guys would agree. Without that relationship, there is absolutely no peace. And so I just want to point out that the peace that you guys have, I personally believe that it's from your relationship with your Lord and Jesus Christ. And then the last point I just want to add to everything good that you guys said is what I learned from you guys financially is that you guys do what you can when you can. Can you guys kind of agree with that? Do what you can when you can. So in other words, when you cannot do it, don't worry. You can't do it. It's not a problem. Don't worry. You can't do it. But if you can do it, don't delay. Would you guys agree? If you can do it, jangan delay, jangan malas-malas, jangan apa ya, don't be, what's the word? Don't procrastinate. If you know you need to invest, it's time to invest. It's time to set aside, tithe. But if you cannot do something, don't do it because you can't do it at the time. Now I know about tithing, it's about putting God first, but that's another topic. But the point is, what you can do, you do when you can do it. And I learned that from you guys. And that's just reading the notes and having a conversation even before today. So thank you guys so much for reflecting what Jesus said in Matthew 6:34, that today's trouble is enough. There's enough thing to do today. Tomorrow we'll worry about it. Not because we are ignorant, not because we are berharap-harap like Tuhan will do something. He will, but let's not worry about tomorrow. Let's worry about today. Do what you can today. When you do it, when you can't do it now. So that's just a takeaway. So that's my little summary, but my conversation with you guys. All right. So one last announcement for everybody who are watching. We have Table Talk episode 5 next week. So tune in to Instagram, ICASBY. Make sure you go on YouTube for more to follow and like, subscribe, every of that stuff. Please, post-production, put the names of the Instagram of Wandi, Lenny, and Jessica so that you guys can connect with them. It's been such an amazing night. I'm just going to close it. I'm going to end in prayer. And then let's just resume for our next table talk. Let's pray. Father, we thank you so much just this time, this moment that we have as your people, that we can just simply have a conversation about what's going on, about what's been going through our minds and our hearts, and just the reality, Tuhan, of the finances that we have to face, whether it be as an employee, as an employer, business owner, those at home, Tuhan, kami semua terdampak. Kami semua kena pengaruhnya, God. And so today, we just want to say thank you that we can have this conversation together, and that we could put you first and center of all that you're doing. And I know that you are working in our midst. And I love the song that says that even though we don't see it, even though we don't feel it, you are always at work. So God, thank you for being that constant worker for us. And so we just want to trust you today to Wandi, Jessica, and also for Lenny in their ministries, but also in their businesses, also in their families, Tuhan, that you will bless them even more. And also for all of us who are dealing with all these financial realities, Tuhan, we know that you have all the answers. Help us to be faithful. Help us to prioritize. Help us to make wise decisions, because we know that in this season, you are still God. And so we praise you. We worship you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. All right. Thank you guys so much. Jangan lupa, please go to the clicking the form that Pastor Bebe, Widianti. Yeah, she's called Pastor Bebe, but the world calls her Widianti. Don't ask me. But so please click on the link there for the feedback, and also for us to know what we can help you or serve you better in Table Talk. So we're so excited for you guys to join us. Thank you so much. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and hit that notification bell for what's next on ICA Surabaya. Thank you so much once again, Wandi. Thank you so much once again, Jessica. Thank you so much once again, Lenny. We'll talk to you soon. Okay, God bless you. Bye-bye.